Many mysterious sinkholes form on our planet. Holes of different sizes and depths are formed in seas, jungles, taiga and tundra, but it also happens that entire cities are in danger of going underground. Let's take a look at the top of the most beautiful and frightening, largest and deepest sinkholes, where the center of the Earth gets a little closer. And most importantly, as a final bonus, let's discuss what alternative theories there are about the mysterious causes of these sinkholes. Dongguan, China. It's in China where sinkholes occur most frequently. Natural disasters in this vast country go hand in hand with extremely intensive construction work, often carried out in violation of regulations. These shots show the construction of a new underground railway station in the southern Chinese city of Dongguan, which has ended up with almost an entire street sinking underground. The sinkhole is formed in several stages. Initially, a minibus fell into the first 80 square meter hole, and a day later the almost built underground station and a part of the city street followed the minibus into a hole that was 4 times bigger. One person was killed, several neighboring buildings were seriously damaged, and the formation of the collapse was captured on video. Meridian, Mississippi, USA. Visitors who wish to dine at a fast food restaurant in the provincial town of Meridian, which is located in the heart of the Mississippi state, were definitely not prepared for the surprise that nature had given them. On November 9th in 2015, a giant trench 180 meters long and 15 meters wide suddenly appeared in the restaurant car park. A dozen customers' cars immediately fell into it. The incident was most likely caused by the prolonged rains that had been raining in Meridian for 2 weeks by then. The local media reported that a storm water collector, apparently unable to withstand the incoming water, was running right under the car park. Fortunately, the cars were the only victims of the incident. Batagai, Yakutia, Russia. Scientists first discovered the Batagai crater in the mid-1960s. At the time it was a relatively small gully, but over the past 5 decades it has grown to a cyclopean size of 1 kilometer long, 800 meters wide and up to 100 meters deep. The overgrown tadpole-like hole is located in a sparsely populated area, near the village of Batagai, where tin mining was initiated by camp inmates prior to the World War II. The appearance of this curious object is connected precisely with this circumstance. For the needs of the new mine, forest was cut down in the surroundings of Batagai. Later, the permafrost melted actively in the area, causing the top layer of soil to fall into the resulting voids. Guatemala. And this photo has virtually become a meme. On February 23 in 2007, in Guatemala City, the capital of Guatemala, an almost perfectly round hole with steep walls 100 meters deep appeared right in the middle of a densely populated residential area. In this case there were victims. 5 people died as a result of the tragedy. Worst of all, these deaths were not the last. Just 3 years later, in May 2010, in Guatemala, another similar disaster, a hole 20 meters wide and 90 meters deep, led to the complete collapse of a 3-story factory building. The accident now killed 15 people. Both tragedies were caused by a combination of factors. Leaking sewers and heavy rains that triggered the flooding simply eroded the volcanic and limestone rocks on which the city stands. Ein Gedi, Israel. In Guatemala there were only 2 collapses, but in the Israeli oasis of Ein Gedi on the Dead Sea there have been literally thousands of them. They have been caused by the constant, and still ongoing, drop of the Dead Sea level. The Dead Sea is one of the most saline bodies of water on the planet, and due to the increasing drainage from the River Jordan which feeds the Dead Sea, the water level is falling at a rate of nearly 1 meter per year. The rock salinated by the sea is being actively eroded by fresh groundwater, leading to the formation of numerous, wide-open voids, the imminent precursors of sinkholes. Their occurrence is extremely difficult to predict, posing the tourist potential of the region under a serious threat. Tianquen, Xiaojai, China. This is the Earth's deepest natural sinkhole. An underground river flowing in Tianquen Cave in the Chinese municipality of Chongqing has, over time, eroded the limestone that forms the local mountains. The outcome was logical, a sinkhole 662 meters deep and more than half a kilometer wide. Speleologists discovered it relatively recently, in 1994, after which the hole was nicknamed the Heavenly Pit. In addition to tourists, numerous plants and animals have chosen the hole, including the rare clouded leopard. Solikamsк and Berezhniki, Russia. Over a period of 30 years, since 1986, 6 large sinkholes have formed in and around the Ural towns of Solikamsк and Berezhniki. Since the 1930s there has been active mining of potassium salts, as a result of which the settlements were surrounded by large-scale mine workings. Moreover, towns that eventually appeared over the mines finally occupied the area above them, and only a relatively thin, 250-meter-long cofferdam separated them from the vast underground voids. The salt rock under the ground continues to be dissolved by the groundwater. This process is deforming the intermine cofferdams left in the workings, eventually leading to destabilization of their construction, flooding of mines, formation of cracks and technogenic earthquakes. Sinkholes in Berezniki and Solikamsк continue to increase, already resulting in the resettlement of entire urban areas on the surface and the closure of a number of enterprises. Sarisariñama, Venezuela. The Tepuis are specific table mountains in Venezuela, the remains of an ancient plateau isolated from the rest of the world extending at their foot. On their flat tops there is a special world with endemic plant and animal species that have evolved in their own way over thousands of years. Apart from this circumstance, the Tepuis are also curious with numerous sinkholes, the largest of which can be found on Mount Sarisariñama in the Venezuelan state of Bolívar. They were formed by the collapse of the tunnel vaults of underground rivers that literally permeate the mountain. The biggest of the 4 sinkholes on Sarisariñama are Cima Humboldt and Cima Martel, situated about 700 meters apart, reaching 300 to 350 meters into the Tepuis. Their bottoms have life of their own, including even large trees, and this life was isolated from both the plateau top and large land, a unique microcosm within a microcosm, a thing within itself, discovered only in the 1960s. Darwaza, Turkmenistan. This crater in Turkmenistan's Karakum Desert has a speaking name, Gates of Hell. From the outside, it does indeed look ominous. In the early 1970s, the Soviet geologists, searching for gas near the village of Darwaza, first discovered an underground cavity, where all their equipment fell. However, in addition to the cave, there was still gas that started to actively leak into the environment. Wishing to save people and their livestock from possible poisoning by the products of these earthy emissions, geologists set fire to the gas, expecting it to burn out quickly. The extent of the deposit has exceeded their expectations. The Darwaza crater is still burning, having become a place of attraction for extreme tourists. At the beginning of 2022, President Berdy Muhammadov proposed to destroy the Darwaza crater. The head of state then considered it irrational to let the gas, which could be exported, burn. In addition, he suggested that the gates of hell had a negative impact on the health of local residents and the environmental situation. But now, apparently, this issue will be taken up by his son, who has succeeded the eccentric president, who delighted the social media with his achievements in almost all sectors and fields of human activity. The Great Blue Hole, Belize. This is far from the largest or deepest sinkhole on the Earth's surface, but it's certainly the most beautiful. The usual karst funnel, formed after the collapse of limestone cave vaults, has been flooded by the Caribbean Sea. The outcome of nature's work couldn't have been more satisfying. Surrounded by a coral reef and azure shallow waters, the Great Blue Hole, 120 meters deep, was explored by the expedition of the eminent traveler Jacques-Yves Cousteau, who discovered the formation to the public. Despite its remoteness from the coast and a certain danger, especially at high tides causing unpredictable whirlpools, thousands of divers nowadays dive down to the bottom to see the stalactites growing there, and to enjoy the tropical inhabitants of this amazing place along the way. And now the promised bonus. In the 1970s, Vladimir Nikolaevich Lerin, a Soviet and Russian geologist, doctor of geological and mineralogical sciences, proposed the hypothesis of a hydride core of the Earth containing supercompressed hydrogen. The hydrogen degassing of the planet is the phenomenon of the release of hydrogen mixed with other fluid gases, most often hydrocarbons, helium and radon, in many parts of our planet in rift zones, during volcanic eruptions, from fractures and sinkholes in the Earth's crust, kimberlite pipes, some mines and wells. It's now worth taking another look at those sinkholes which, according to hydrogen theory, are associated with hydrogen degassing of the planet. In the areas of hydrogen outlets in the Earth's topography, very distinctive subsidence structures are formed, shaped like saucers and varying in diameter from 100 meters to several kilometers. Russian geologists have been working on the Russian platform. However, judging by space images, similar structures are present on all the continents. They are especially present on the east coast of the USA. Americans discovered these formations in the 30s of last century, thoroughly investigated them for many decades, but still haven't been able to determine the cause of the formation of these mysterious structures, which have entered the literature under the term Carolina Bays. According to this version, the cause is the same, the stream degassing of hydrogen from the bowling of the planet. Here is another manifestation, the fairy ring, a strip of more lush, taller grass at the edge of a perfectly flat circle. It's particularly noticeable in the usually dry areas of the ground. The intense growth of plants in the rings isn't due to special features of the soil or underground water sources, but can be explained by the release of hydrogen. Moreover, when the gas passes through the fertile soil layer, it discolors it. Soil subsidence and the formation of reservoirs can be observed in places where the primordial gas escapes intensively. Larger amounts of gases accumulate under the permafrost layer, forming frost bumps, for example. These shots show such a bump on Yamal and shots of the further explosive evolution of similar frost bumps. Karst caves are also the result of hydrogen degassing according to this theory. Passing through the limestone layer, hydrogen stream enters into exothermic exchange reaction, forming calcium compounds, water, and carbon dioxide. This results in considerable karst funnels and sinkholes. And of course, round lakes. Such sinkholes and blast craters gradually fill up with water, forming deep lakes without any external sources to feed them. On our planet there are many deep lakes of rounded shape formed by hydrogen outlets, and if to use this hydrogen theory, which by the way is confirmed experimentally, they aren't traces of fantastic wars of the past and atomic bombardments of past civilizations, versions about which are very popular on YouTube. Well, that's all for today. Subscribe so as not to miss our next video, and see you in future episodes on our channel.